Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda minister, said that the bigger the lie, the faster it will spread. Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a giant, a once-in-a-century talent who defended freedom, defended America, defended our common Judeo-Christian civilization. Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people. He told me so in a letter that he sent me just a few months ago. One of my greatest joys as a Christian, he said, is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. He encouraged me to make the case directly to the American people about how vital Israel is to U.S. national security. He told me, the Holy Land is so important to my life, it pains me to see support for Israel slip away. Now, if Charlie disagreed with a policy of mine or a decision here and there, not only did I not mind, I welcomed it. This is the essence of Charlie. This is the essence of a free country. It's exactly what Charlie stood for. And I knew that his suggestions always came from the heart, from his love for Israel and from his love for the Jewish people. A few weeks before his death, I spoke to Charlie. I invited him to visit Israel again. And sadly, that won't happen. Now some are peddling these disgusting rumors, perhaps out of obsession, perhaps with Qatari funding. What I do know is this: Charlie Kirk was a great man, and a great man deserves honor, not lies. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. May your memory be a blessing.
We need to be blunt here. Conspiracy theories in the wake of a tragedy are not just harmful speculation, they are damaging. They cloud the truth, they disrespect the dead, and they prey on people's emotions when hearts are raw and wounds are fresh. And let's be real, people push these theories not out of love for the truth, but often for ulterior motives. Some push them for clicks, for views, for financial gain. Others push them to score ideological points, but in every case, it's not about evidence. It's about exploiting grief and confusion for personal benefit. One particular ugly element of this is the age-old habit of blaming Jews for everything. Throughout history, whenever tragedy struck, there are always those quick to point fingers at the Jewish people. And now, once again, we see it happening in real time. It's become popular in some circles to default to, well, it must be Israel. It must be the Jews. This is not only baseless, it's profoundly dangerous. That way of thinking has fueled anti-Semitism for centuries. It has led to persecution, pogroms, and genocide. And seeing it resurface today in the context of Charlie Kirk's assassination is deeply disturbing. Charlie's assassination is a tragedy that deserves solemnity, reflection, and unity. Injecting conspiracy theories, especially ones rooted in anti-Semitic tropes, only poisons the conversation. It distracts from the truth that Charlie was murdered in an act of political violence, and his family and this country are grieving his loss. Instead of chasing shadows, we should be demanding real accountability from the killer, real justice in the courts, and real unity in our communities. So, here is my reaction to Netanyahu's statement. Until there is evidence to the contrary, I believe him. Israel had nothing to do with Charlie's death. Charlie loved Israel. Israel loved Charlie. And spreading baseless rumors dishonors his memory. Those who are pushing conspiracies in the wake of his tragedy are not speaking truth. They are seeking attention, power, or profit, in my opinion. And those who reflexively blame the Jews for every evil in the world are feeding a poison that humanity should have long outgrown.
Gotcha. I mean, do you think that she's attractive or not?
Well, what a champion of the Me Too movement that guy is.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. Okay. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
So Jimmy Kimmel, with his massive platform, has been fired for making insensitive, tasteless jokes and broadcasting lies about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Some are calling this censorship. Let me be clear, it's not censorship, it's accountability. Censorship is when the government silences you. This is a private company saying we will not pay you millions of dollars to mock the brutal murder of a husband and father just because you disagree with his politics. That is not censorship. That is a company exercising its rights and frankly its responsibility. When you take joy in or make light of someone's assassination, you're not being edgy, you're not being funny. You're showing the world your lack of basic humanity. And in a decent society, there should be consequences for that. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't just another guy making an offhand joke. He was a man with a national platform, watched by millions. His words sent signals, and if the signal you're sending is that political assassinations are laughable, then you're contributing to a culture that normalizes the same hatred you yell about all the time, and violence too. So yes, his firing was well deserved. He crossed a line that no amount of celebrity or status can excuse.
So I got fired from my job today because one of you guys decided to send my videos, my Charlie Kirk videos, to my boss. Yeah. I don't know who did it. They won't tell me. They were sent anonymously to my boss. My boss pulled me in the office today and he pulls up his phone and he said, "This you?" And I looked at it and I was like, "Nah, boss, that ain't me." And then of course I pop up on screen, so I can't deny it, that it was me. Who did it, MAGA? Which one of you guys got me fired, bro? Send my video to my boss. Who does that? Yo, and on top of that, you got my account almost banned, bro. I didn't even say nothing bad about Charlie. Alright? We had our differences, but I didn't know the guy. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I make conspiracy videos, yo. You guys got me fired. Fired from my job. Now what? Now what? How am I supposed to buy my Pokemon cards? How am I supposed to buy my double cheeseburgers with no pickle, extra fry, barbecue sauce, my chicken nugget? How am I supposed to buy that now? I bought that every night I got off of work. Love McDonald's, bro. More than I love Charlie Kirk. And now you guys got me fired. Boy. MAGA, one of you guys owe me a job now. Not cool.
I got fired! I got me fired from my job! I woke up and told myself the shit from the Charlie Kirk shit from yesterday. What the fuck? I gotta pay my rent! What the fuck, y'all? I thought y'all was gonna not give me fired when y'all did!
I just got fired. Can't have you back.
You said I have to leave the premises like immediately? Okay. So, guess I'll see you guys later. I'm fired. You guys take care. Good luck, okay? Kind of relief. You guys have a good one.
Oh man, I feel good. I just got fired. And honestly, when they told me, I was like a little like, eh. But then after, I was like, fuck this. They're back there having their little chat together. The guy that let me go was trying to block me from saying goodbye to my coworkers right now. Like, he was like guarding them or something. And then that's when I was like, okay, bye. Goodbye, guys. I'll see you later. They let me go. They fired me. He looked all disappointed. But honestly, dude, I feel relieved. I feel very relieved. I mean, I'm gonna be if I'm not gonna get unemployment, but dude, as they were like having me sign my forms and shit and like terminating me. Wait, let me say goodbye to my friend Michael. Hi, Michael!
As you can see, it's not just Kimmel. All across the country, other individuals, journalists, commentators, even average citizens employed in universities and companies are facing consequences for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Some people are outraged by this, crying cancel culture. But let's stop and think. These aren't people being fired for holding a political opinion. They are being fired for openly cheering a gruesome assassination, for mocking the dead, for celebrating violence. There is a difference between free speech and consequence. You can say what you want, but if you go online and post that you're glad a man was murdered, don't be surprised when your employer doesn't want you representing their company anymore. Because here is the truth. Celebrating assassination isn't politics, it's barbarism. And companies, schools, and organizations have every right to say, we don't want that darkness attached to our name. This is of course bigger than Charlie Kirk, bigger than Jimmy Kimmel, bigger than any single person who's lost their job. This is about what kind of culture we are going to tolerate. Do we want to live in a society where public figures and ordinary people can gleefully celebrate murder as long as the victim is someone they dislike politically? Or do we want to set a standard that says, no, life matters, humanity matters, and there are lines you do not cross? Accountability is not censorship. Accountability is how we draw those lines. Without it, the rot spreads. Without it, cruelty becomes normalized. Without it, violence becomes entertainment. And here is the reality. Jimmy Kimmel's firing was the right call. The other firings are the right call. And they send a clear message, one that our culture desperately needs to hear. If you celebrate assassination, if you mock the dead, if you glorify violence against your political opponents, there will be consequences. This is not about silencing political disagreement. This is about protecting human dignity. Because if we cannot even agree that celebrating murder is wrong, then we've lost more than civility, we've lost our very humanity. Now lastly, think about it. I believe it's rational for an employer to assume that you cannot show compassion to your colleagues or a client if you are not capable of showing the same to someone who was gruesomely assassinated.